everyone, and welcome to this tutorial video for beginners on reading drum music notation. Now, I've heard people say, oh heck, reading music, that's really difficult. I can't do that. But it's not that difficult. Can you count to 4? Well, if you can count to 4, you can learn to read drum music because it's not that difficult, but it's very, very important. You're not just a drummer, you're a musician. And there may come a day when you're required to read musical pieces and to learn a part for theatre work or session recording. But anyway, right now, if you're just starting out, being able to understand and read drum music means you'll be able to read, understand and learn to play the thousands and thousands of exercises in drum books, in videos and tutorials that are all available online or in hard copy. So let's get started. First of all, we have the 5 parallel lines that musical notes are written on, and these are called staves. Written music is divided into bars, and each bar is separated by a vertical line known as the bar line. Next, we should look at the note. Now, each note consists of a note head and a stem. Next, we should take a look at note values. Firstly, we have the whole note or the semibreve. Next, we have the half note. And for those of you that have done fractions, you know that 2 halves make a whole. Therefore, there are 2 half notes in a whole note, 2 quarter notes in a half note, 2 eighth notes in a quarter note. And that's as far as we're going to go today. Next, we should look at the beam. You will only see beams joining a series of eighth notes, 16th notes or 32nd notes, but in this video we are only looking at 8th notes. So on its own, an 8th note has a little arm, but when there are more than 1 8th note side by side, they all join hands to create the beam. Next, we have to consider the time signature. So what is the time signature? Well, the time signature is very important because it tells us how many beats there are in the bar and the value of each beat. The top number of the time signature tells us how many beats in the bar, and the bottom number tells us the value of the beat. So, in these examples, we have 4/4 with 4 beats in the bar, and the value of each beat is the quarter note, and 6/8 with 6 beats in the bar, and the value of each beat is the 8th note. Most contemporary rock and pop music is written in 4/4. So in this tutorial, we're going to work on understanding how to read drum notation in 4/4. And because there are 2 eighth notes in each quarter note, we could fill the bar with 8th notes. Now we have to look at what happens when we don't want to play one of the quarter notes or one of the 8th notes. In music, if a note is not being played, you can't just leave a space. You have to insert a rest of the equivalent value of the note you don't want to play. So, firstly, we have the whole note rest, and that equals 2 half note rests, and each half note rest equals 2 quarter note rests, and each quarter note rest equals 2 eighth note rests. Okay, now let's talk about counting. Counting is a very important skill for drummers to learn. So let's look at how we count quarter notes. Yes, you guessed it, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next, we learn to count eighth notes like this. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. This is important. When you're counting the notes in your head, you also count the rests in your head, but you do not play them. Okay, let's have a look at some quarter note and eighth note sight reading exercises with some quarter note rests. So here we go with exercise number 1. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have a rest on beat 3. So we still count beat 3, but we don't play it. So it would go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go with exercise number 2. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have a half note rest that accounts for beats 1 and 2. So although we count 1, 2, 3, 4, we only play beats 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In exercise number 3, we're adding some eighth notes, and it plays like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Now let's add some more eighth notes, and this exercise counts like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 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 Right, so let's mix up some quarter note rests, quarter notes and eighth notes. So exercise 5 would count like this. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 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 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Well, that's it for now. In the future, look out for sight reading exercises level 1, where we'll be introducing the eighth note rest and mixtures of quarter note rests, eighth notes and eighth notes rests. Now, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you want to practice some basic sight reading exercises, check out the link below for my tutorial, Sight Reading Exercises Beginner Level. Catch up soon. All the best.